Restoring the Father's name Yahweh. Restoring the Messiah's name Yahshua. Re-establishing Torah covenant. Preparing the bride. The revealing of the sons of Elohim. Prophecy. The return of Melchizedek, the royal priesthood. Elijah's school of the prophets. The Way Ministries. A return to the Philadelphian spirit.
Revelation chapter 21. Now I saw a new fresh heaven and a new earth, for the first former heaven and the first former earth had passed away. Also there was no more sea that is salted. Then I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from Yahweh, prepared as likened to a bride who is a betrothed girl, adorned as to put in order with decorations for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from heaven saying in a systematic expression, Behold, look and see, the tabernacle as a habitation for a wife who contributes to the usefulness of her husband of Yahweh is with men. And he will dwell in a mansion, as in days of old with them, and they shall be his people. Yahweh himself will be with them, and their Yahweh the supreme divinity. And Yahweh will wipe away and obliterate the sins that causes every tear from their eyes. There shall be no more death, no sorrow, nor crying. There shall be no more pain, for the former things have passed away. Then he who sat on the throne said, Behold, I make all things new and fresh. And he said to me, Write, for these words, a divine expression of Messiah, are true and faithful. And he said to me, It is done, and has come into being and fulfilled. I am the Alpha of every kind of divine and demonic power that existed, and the Omega, which is the finality of it, the beginning as the commencement and chief, and the end as the prophetic conclusion. I will give of the fountain that gushes up from the source of water of life freely as a gift to him who thirsts. He who overcomes and prevails to the point of victory shall inherit all things, and I will be his Yahweh, and he shall be my son. But the cowardly, who are faithless and timid, unbelieving, who is actively disbelieving like a heathen, abominable, that are detestable acts of idolatry, murderers, as intentional homicidal acts, sexually immoral, who are male prostitutes, who traffic as merchandise into slavery of it, sorcerers of the pharmaceutical drugs and spell-giving potions with witchcraft, idolaters who worship an image of a heathen god, and all liars who indulge in an attempt to deceive through untruths shall have their part in the lake which burns with fire and brimstone of flashing sulfur, which is the second in time, place, and rank of death that was assigned to them. Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls, a broad shallow cup, filled with the seven last plagues caused by calamity, came to me and talked with me, saying, Come, I will show the meaning to you, the bride, who was betrothed veiled girl, who is now a young married woman, the lambs as the lambkin male's wife. And he carried me away in the spirit of the Ruach HaKodesh, to a great exceedingly large and high in elevation of a mountain, and showed the meaning to me, the great city, the holy, sacred, and ceremonially consecrated Jerusalem, which is the capital descending out of heaven from Yahweh. Having the glory of praise and worship of Yahweh, her light of luminescence was like a most precious, honored, and valuable stone, like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. Also she had a great high wall with 12 gates, a wing-folded entrance to the city, and 12 angels who bring tidings at the gates, and names with authority written as an inscription on them, which are the names of the 12 tribes who are the offshoot or race or clan of the children of Israel. 3 gates, that is wing-folded entrance to the city on the east, 3 gates on the north, 3 gates on the south, and 3 gates on the west. Now the wall of the city had 12 foundations, the substruction of the building, and on them were the names of the 12 apostles that were ambassadors of the gospel with miraculous powers of the Lamb as the lambkin male. And he who talked with me had a golden reed, a stem that grows near the water to measure as to ascertain the size by a fixed standard of measure of the city, its gates and its walls. The city is laid out and stretched as a square with 4 corners. Its length is as great as its breadth. And he measured in form of a stem that grows near the water to measure using a fixed standard of measure of the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs, a fixed measure of a race course of 7,920,000, 15.7 feet, or 1,500.003 miles. Its length, breadth, and height are equal. Then he measured, using the fixed standard of measure of its walls, 144 cubits, the length of the forearm 216 feet, according to the measure of a man, that is of an angel. The construction and materials of its wall was of jasper, and the city was pure gold like clear glass. The foundations, the substruction of the building of the wall of the city, were adorned as to put in order and decorated with all kinds of precious, honored, and valuable stones. And the first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, lapis lazuli gem, a deep blue metamorphic rock, the third chalcedony, a microcrystalline type of quartz that is like copper, the fourth emerald. The fifth sardonyx, the onyx gem, the sixth sardis, a gem, the seventh crystallite, that is yellowish gold, the eighth beryl, a mineral composed of beryllium, aluminum, cyclosicillate, the ninth topaz, a gem, the 10th chrysoprase, greenish yellow, the 11th hyacinth, deep blue color, and the 12th amethyst, means to prevent intoxication. 12 gates are wing-folded entrance to the city, were 12 pearls from oysters. Each individual gate was of 1 pearl, and the street, a wide open square of the city, was pure gold like transparent glass. But I saw no temple that was Yahweh's dwelling place, not being in it. For the Master Yahweh and Supreme Divinity Almighty, the all-ruling and universally sovereign Elohim, and the Lamb are its temple and dwelling place. The city had no need or requirement of the sun nor of the moon in its brilliancy and attractiveness to shine in it, for the glory of praise and honor of Yahweh illuminated it. The Lamb is its light. And the nations that were pagan and non-Jewish, and of those who were saved, shall walk in its light, and the kings as the foundational sovereign kings of the earth bring their glory and honor to it. Its gates shall not be shut at all by day. There shall be no night there. And they shall bring the glory of praise and worship and the honor of the highest degree of the nations that were pagan and non-Jewish into it. But there shall by no means enter it anything that defiles, profanes, or causes an abomination, that are detestable acts of idolatry, or a lie through falsehood, but only those who are written with their deeds and description in the Lamb's book, a rolled up scroll opened like a sheet of life.